Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. We're here in California, in San Francisco at IoT World, Internet of Things. I'm talking with Mobeen Khan, who is AVP Industrial IoT Solutions at AT&T. Mobeen, great to see you. It must be almost 2 months since we were in Barcelona.
It seems like a lifetime,
It
though.
does, doesn't it?
Yes.
But glad to see you in a different place.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again. Speaking at the beginning, there are a lot of vendors here at the show. There are a lot of people hoping to get applications and services out. There are also some service providers, AT&T being a major case in point. Now, IoT for AT&T means something very different to that which it means to the vendors and to the hopefuls. So, first of all, what's your place in IoT? Why do you want to play in it? Why have you got to play in it? And how are things going?
So, quite a few questions. So let me start for what it means for AT&T. If you look at AT&T's business, it started off 100 plus years ago,
Sure.
connecting locations through telephones. We have evolved into connecting businesses. We have evolved into connecting you and I as persons, mobile communication. And where this communication revolution is headed is we're going to connect things. And that's the Internet of Things. What are those things? Those things could be in our home life, sensors around our houses, our gardens, our places of worship, our parks that we play in. It's around our offices. It's around our industries. It's around all of the enterprises that we go to work in. So some of the simple examples are managing and reading meters, electric meters. Before, it used to be someone drives out to your house, reads your meter every month. You could do that through an IoT solution. More than that, you could add an application to that meter where you could prepay your meter bill. You could also add solutions so that you can get a better view of electricity, and a utility company can get a better view of your consumption, and they can in real time manage that consumption, especially in times when everybody's turning on either heat or air conditioning and so on. So I think it starts to get into where you're collecting this data from these things, and then you're starting to get efficiencies out of those things. What it means for AT&T is we are connecting those things, but more than that, in certain areas, we're trying to help the ecosystem provide the infrastructure to scale those applications that you were talking about. A lot of the companies here are smaller companies. They have a great idea, an innovative idea, and they're starting maybe with 1,000 devices that they're connecting, but the model says, I need to support 10 million devices. How do you scale that? That's the thing. That's the part that AT&T knows how to do well.
Well, you have an enormous network, granted, it's big, but nonetheless, given the fact that you're being attacked on one side by the OTT players, and by the other side not being attacked necessarily, but being challenged to be able to provide the resilient network, speed of network that will be required for IoT solutions, you find yourself between a rock and a hard place?
I think the opportunity is immense in IoT. Today we connect about 22 million end devices that are passing data for a variety of applications. And the forecasts are humongous. So the opportunity is huge for AT&T and for a lot of other service providers, application providers, device providers. Where I think we tend to play really well is in the scale. Is taking things to scale, whether it is for consumers, connect a lot of homes through our Digital Life product, which connects your homes and sensors in your home, or it is connecting a lot of industrial products like tractors, excavators, meters, even vehicles. So I'm sure you've seen in popular press our announcements around connected cars,
Sure.
where we have cornered the market on connected cars. In 2015, more than half the cars on the road coming out will have AT&T connectivity, which would support all kinds of applications in the car, whether it's reading your dashboard by your dealer, or it is infotainment in the back seat of the car. So we're going after the scale of connecting these things, and we're making the investments in that area as well.
The bottom line for all of this, the bottom line for everybody, is the bottom line. there's a lot of talk about how you're going to monetize this, whether you're a service provider, whether you're a vendor, or whether you're somebody who's providing services and applications extraneous to the network. So what's the strategy?
So at a simplest level, the monetization model is X dollars per device connected per month. That's the simple model. We are in the subscription business, so we offer subscriptions, whether it's to your cell phones or to your home sensor alarms and so on. So that's the monetization model. It is vastly different in different industries. So for example, if you look at a connected meter at home, you probably only need to read it once a week or once a month. Whereas if you're talking about infotainment in a car, you're streaming video, you have immense amount of data. So the revenue per device for a meter versus a car is going to be vastly different. But the scales could also be vastly different. So think of sensors in an agriculture farm.
Yep.
They may probably passing data once a day, very small amounts of data, but every single farm is going to get connected. So the monetization, the actual revenue generated per device may be very different, but the number of devices being connected is limitless. It's very, very large.
Okay. Now then, challenges then. You've mentioned opportunities. Surely one of the challenges is data. You talk about big data. This is immense data. You're collecting all of this. You have to keep it safe. You have to keep it secure. You have to guarantee that it's private. So how do you strip away anything which could be misused, not necessarily by AT&T, but it could be pirated, could be hacked, or anything else? How do you keep it secure? And does that have any effect on the way in which you implement the monetization and the solutions that you're providing?
It doesn't affect the monetization, but obviously as a network provider, as a data custodian on behalf of our customers, we put immense emphasis on security and privacy of that data. So yes, we collect that data. First of all, we don't share that data. If we collect the data on behalf of a customer, that data belongs to that customer, and we will only share it if that customer wants us to share that data. So with another enterprise or with another customer. So we are very, very strict about the privacy policies around that data. As far as the security of the data, it is a very high priority in our business, and because we have been securing our network for a number of years, forever, from all kinds of hacks and intrusions, we actually now have a practice to help others securing their data. So we now have a practice in our mobility business solutions where we're going out using the expertise that we have developed in-house and helping other business customers secure their data networks, because it's a big problem for them. On the other side, we also work very closely with the government, because a lot of these attacks on data and on the networks may come from foreign soils. And so we work very closely with other large companies, with the government, to make sure that the network and the data remains very secure.
You've moved directly into the area I wanted to sort of finish up on, Mobeen. No, it's nothing bad at all. But of course, obviously, what about, there's regulation going to be involved here. So what about, how does regulation, which traditionally, especially in the telecoms industry, has been, shall we say, rather cumbersome and slow to take place?
Yeah.
So it's always following after the event.
Yeah.
What about now with the speed of IoT? Is regulation relevant?
So I think it's relevant to our customers. So there's regulation at different layers.
Sure.
So there's telecom regulation, and AT&T, is regulated through FCC and all kinds of rules that come along with that. But especially if you look at the lens of enterprise customers, we have customers in healthcare, we have customers in government, we have customers in insurance. So each one of them have separate set of regulations that they need to follow. And so as we build those solutions, the infrastructure layers, the connectivity layers, we have to be cognizant of what those customers' demands are for us. So for example, just taking the example of healthcare, any IoT solution where we're collecting that data, we want to make sure that it's HIPAA compliant. So the cloud services and so on that we would offer would be HIPAA compliant to make sure that our healthcare customers have a single place to go to for an IoT solution from AT&T.
The last question to you, this is busy show. It's in the
Yeah.
right place, it's at the right time. How valuable is a show like this to AT&T?
So for me, it was very valuable because not only is a large company like AT&T here, but there's a lot of innovative smaller companies here. So when I take a walk around this floor and the bottom floor in the apps world and the IoT world, a lot of great companies with a lot of great ideas, new ideas, which some of these companies can become great ecosystem partners for us who can build the next generation of applications that would help our customers. So I'm really enjoying the show, and I haven't gone to every single booth, but I plan to go on to quite a few.
Well, there's a lot to see. Anyway, Mobeen Khan, great to see you again.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
very much.